Start a new project, initiate a change, create impact, do something. You may think it's just about having the perfect grades, but you may be surprised that these little things actually count. Here are 7 mistakes that could cost you a scholarship, part 2. My name is Aneta Felix, and I won the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship to the University of California, Berkeley, studying journalism in 2022. I made a lot of mistakes while I was trying to put my application together. It cost me scholarships to several schools across the world, and I'm hoping these series will help you avoid making the same mistakes. If you find this type of video helpful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's dive in. Mistake number 1. Not listing extracurricular activities, leadership, or community service. So in Africa in general and Nigeria in particular, we tend to place a lot more value on grades. And I get it, but it's a different ballgame here in the US and generally abroad. Those extracurriculars mean a lot in America, especially when it comes to university admissions. Your grades may not be the highest, you may not have a perfect 4.0 GPA, but when your extracurriculars are rich, you have community service, you have been a leader somewhere, it really helps make a case for your desirability as a candidate. If you're still in uni right now in your undergraduate level, listen, you're here at the right time. Make the very most of this particular period of your life and begin to sign up for leadership opportunities, not just because you want a scholarship or to get admission into a renowned university, but those are skills that you need to function well in life anyway. You know, even if you're going to be a mother or a father, that's leadership in a sense. Even if you're going to lead a team at work, that's leadership in action. So getting leadership experience, no matter how little it may seem now, would really help you, will prepare you for whatever challenges, for whatever opportunities you may get in future beyond a scholarship or a university admission. Take advantage of it. It's better for you, especially if you want opportunities like this, if you can prove that you've been able to take steps in, smaller projects or led initiatives or things like that. My advice is to make the most of the time you have right now. If your department is looking to elect a new course rep, nominate yourself. If your church is looking for a new Bible study or Sunday school teacher, nominate yourself. If your student union is looking to elect new leaders, get in the race. Start a new project, initiate a change, create impact, do something. You may think it's just about having the perfect grades, but you may be surprised that these little things actually count. It shows that you have leadership skills, you've taken accountability, you've created change, you've led an initiative, and they really matter. Schools want to see your potential to be great. They want to nurture leaders, and they want to know that you're in the right frame of mind and you're the kind of candidate that they're looking for. When you visit websites of most universities, you'll find a section where they're bragging about their students, talking about our alumni is a president or a founder of this multinational corporation, or our alumni won a Nobel Peace Prize for this and that. That's the kind of thing they want. They want students who are ambitious, who are overachievers, who have potential to do great things. So if you have opportunities to showcase those kind of leadership skills, initiative, and things like that, and you're writing about that in your scholarship application, you are setting yourself apart. They begin to see you in the position of an alumni and a student that can go ahead and do great things and can make the university proud, because it all goes back to the school. The school can say, oh, look, UC Berkeley alumni X and X and X. UC Davis alumni has achieved this and that. So they want to brag about you. So give them something to brag about. Help them see the potential in you. So this is a mistake people make in their university and scholarship applications. Not listing these extracurriculars, not talking about them, no matter how small it may seem. If you've spoken to a crowd, if they've invited you to give a speech, something, if you've made a change in some way, list that change, talk about that change, quantify that change, use data to drive that change, talk about that change, and you'll be setting yourself up for success. Mistake number 2, weak letters of recommendation. Oh my gosh. Many university lecturers in Nigeria have a recommendation letter template that they use for any and every student who asks. So if you ask for a recommendation letter, they would simply just change the former name and put your name. They just slap it on there and send it to you. Now, guess what? This is not going to help you. It's not going to do any good for your application. You're just going to fulfill that requirement of uploading a document where it asks for a recommendation letter. But in terms of substance and content, that letter will do almost nothing for you. Now, I remember back when I was applying to UC Berkeley and many other schools, I reached out to one of my lecturers at University of Benin, Uniben, for a recommendation letter, and they sent me one of those random generalized recommendation letters. I took one look at this and I knew this wasn't going to help my case in any way. So what I did, I literally wrote all my achievements, everything I had done, my goals, my ambitions, my vision, and things like that. So they simply edited and sent that back to me. Guess what? I had a more polished recommendation letter that represented me and was more personal to who I am. And guess who got the admission at the end of the day? Me. So I want you to learn from that good example. This wasn't a mistake I made, but you should learn from that, because people make the mistake of going about applying to universities with generalized recommendation letters, things that don't speak to your experience, that don't speak to you, that don't speak to your skills, and you just submit that just to tick a box. No, let's do better. Let's do better henceforth. Mistake number 3, leaving essays till the last minute. Don't do this. You have a whole year to prepare, Applications open and then close in 3 or 4 months. Don't wait till the deadline. Don't wait till the last minute. You end up being rushed, and it shows, because when you're not talking about the details and what makes them unique and what makes you unique, going back to the part 1 of this series, you're not talking about what makes you different from other candidates. You're not being introspective. You're not being deep in your answers. It really just shows that you just rushed through this essay and you just wanted to hit submit, but you were not thoughtful about it. So applications can be cumbersome. I remember what it feels like applying to so many schools. And if you are applying to so many schools, which you should be doing, you're going to write your name a million times. You're going to write on your bio data, your name, your date of birth, input all that information a lot of times. So it can get really stressful. So you want to make sure that you're taking the time to prepare your essays and your answers. You're starting early, you're creating a draft, you're refining it, you're editing. And if you're going to be needing someone to review your essays, you need to factor in the time it will take them to do so. So yes, please start your preparations early and don't leave things till the last minute. Mistake number 4, poor grammar and typographical errors in your application. This relates to mistake number 3, because if you leave your essays to the last minute and you're rushing through it, you wouldn't have time to check for your grammar, your syntax, your tenses, your phrases, typos, and things like that. You would just send a bad application that doesn't speak well for you in any way. That's why grammar checkers like Grammarly exist these days. Even platforms like Microsoft Word and Google Docs have, these checkers. They would highlight when a phrase or a word needs some work, needs to be corrected. So don't ignore these when you see them underline it in red. One way to fact check your grammar and, just make sure everything's intact is to read it out loud. When you're done writing your essays, start to read it out loud like you're reading to somebody. That will help you catch mistakes faster, and help you make corrections. Mistake number 5, failing to show financial need when required. So some scholarships ask for essays or proof of financial hardship. Maybe they require you to have a certain income level to prove that you need the scholarship, but you're not doing that in your essays or your application in any way. And for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship, you need to get recommended first by the school admission team. You need to get recommended by them to Mastercard. But if you don't demonstrate that need in your essays, they're not going to recommend you because they think, you can afford it, maybe. They're not going to recommend you, and then you're not even going to get a chance to apply for the Mastercard Foundation Scholarship. So if there's a financial hardship essay that requires you to write about your financial circumstances, don't ignore it. Compulsory essays, optional essays, don't ignore those. Take your time to write those essays. Let them know that you do need the scholarship, how much it'll mean to you, how it's going to help your education, and demonstrate that need, and you set yourself up for success. This helps you get that nomination as long as you're meeting every other eligibility requirements and you're on your way. Mistake number 6, missing application deadlines. Oh my gosh, this happened to me a lot of times, especially because of time zone differences. We need to understand that being in Nigeria, the time zone is very different. So when they tell you the deadline is 12 p.m. PST, it's not 12 p.m. in Lagos. It is so different. I made this mistake miss deadlines because I mix up time zones. So you always have to use an online time zone converter. If the deadline says 12 p.m. PST, you have to really check what time is 12 p.m. PST in your city. Very, very important. Unlike in Nigeria, where 12 p.m. in Lagos is 12 p.m. in Abuja and 12 p.m. in Kano, it's very different here. There's like 5 or 6 different time zones, all within one country, the USA. 12 a.m. in California is 3 a.m. in Atlanta. It's 2:30 p.m. in Chicago. The times are different. So ensure that you're paying close attention to the time zone and the deadline for your applications, especially when you're applying to schools in different states. If the time says 12 p.m., check to make sure it's not 12 p.m. across board. It's 12 p.m. here, it's 12 a.m. here, it's 3 a.m. here, to make sure you're not missing your deadline. So monitor, use time zone converters, and do not make this mistake like I did in the past. That was quite embarrassing. Mistake number 7, self-doubt. Many people disqualify themselves before they even apply, and that's something I learned from my parents not to do. My parents would always encourage me, even when I mentioned several times that I've been rejected, or I was rejected by Chevening twice, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to apply anymore. I give up, I quit, I'm tired, it's frustrating, it's embarrassing, whatever. My parents, my mom especially, would encourage me, and she would say, keep on applying. And her encouragement would always be, you're not paying application fees, right? It's free for you to apply, so why not go ahead and apply? Even though at UC Berkeley, I eventually had to pay an application fee, the point is I was encouraged and motivated to keep going. So even if you've applied to scholarships before and you didn't get selected, or even if you're trying to apply for the first time and you're a bit skeptical and you're scared, listen, I know what it feels like. Just don't stop. Do not stop. Just keep going. Back then I would cry and oh my gosh. I remember, trust me, I remember just like it was yesterday. You're good enough. That's something you need to remember. You are good enough. You are good enough. Maybe your application just needs better packaging. And what I mean by packaging is, 2 essays can say the same thing, but they say it in different ways. Maybe you just need more storytelling, more compelling story writing, in such a way that guarantees a win. But you are good enough. Okay? Never give up. Also, lean on your support system. For me, my parents were my support system, especially my mom. Find people who would always keep encouraging you, who would always keep supporting you, people who always motivate you and tell you you can do it. Even if you fall, even if you fail, try again. I know what it feels like to have people discourage you. Back when I was applying to University of Benin, I scored 259 in my JAM, and a friend's mom told me it's not about passing JAM, it's about passing for CTME. That could have really discouraged me, but I did pass for CTME and I got into University of Benin by the grace of God. All glory to God, So even when I was applying to UC Berkeley and then for the scholarship and all of that, I had a friend tell me, that's when I got the admission to UC Berkeley, I had a friend tell me, oh, it's not about getting admission, it's about getting the scholarship. And I eventually got the scholarship. So stay away from people who discourage you, people who put in self-doubt and fear. Don't listen to the naysayers. Tune them off and tune into your support system. The point is, even if you didn't have the perfect GPA, back to my first point, highlight your extracurriculars. They count, they matter. Avoid making those mistakes and you would, set yourself up for success. So if you found value in this video and you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave all your questions in the comment section. Let me know what you think and how's it going for you application wise. I'll be praying for you, rooting for you, and I'm hoping you get it. Good luck.